The year is 1877. While the American South is trying to heal the wounds of the Civil War, an extraordinary child is born on a farm near Hopkinsville, Kentucky, Edgar Cayce. His mother Carrie and father Leslie were devout and hard-working people. Edgar was the middle of 5 children. The family lived modestly, working the land and attending the Presbyterian church. Edgar was different from other children. He would spend hours wandering in nature, talking to trees, flowers, and animals. One day, deep in the forest, he came across something he had never seen before. As the sunlight filtered through the trees, a glowing, winged creature appeared in the air. It was a fairy. Edgar looked at it, enchanted. The fairy asked him in a gentle voice, "Who are you, little boy?" Edgar replied, hesitantly, "I am Edgar, and what are you?" The fairy smiled. "I am the spirit of the forest. I see and hear everything here. What do you want to be when you grow up?" Edgar. Edgar thought for a moment. Sick children, suffering people came to mind. He said, "I want to help sick children. I want to be useful to humanity." The fairy nodded. "This wish of yours is from the bottom of your heart, and it will come true." The fairy's presence provides a mystical starting point for Edgar's abilities. Although the family saw this as childish imagination, Edgar's connection to nature was the first forerunner of the abilities that would shape his future life. The school years were difficult for Edgar. He had difficulty concentrating and understanding lessons. This was because the ordinary learning method did not suit his differently functioning mind. He learned more intuitively and holistically than visually and auditorily. One day, while playing in the schoolyard, he was hit hard on the back of his head. He fainted and fell to the ground. The blow to the back of his head may have been a turning point in the activation of his abilities. His friends and teachers immediately took him home. Edgar could not come to for a long time. When he woke up, his head ached violently. The doctors did not know what to do. Edgar fell into a deep sleep again. In his dream, he saw the winged fairy again. The fairy told him, "A special herbal mixture should be applied to the back of your head. This mixture will help you get better." When Edgar woke up, he told his family the recipe for the mixture he had seen in his dream. His family, to his surprise, applied the recipe, and the miracle happened. Edgar's headache went away and he started to feel much better. The cure that came in the dream is another example of Edgar's abilities. After this incident, Edgar began to do better in his studies. However, he was still having a hard time. One night, he saw the fairy in his dream again. The fairy told him, "Put a book under your head and sleep. When you wake up, you will know everything in the book." Edgar did as the fairy told him. When he woke up in the morning, he was surprised to find that he knew the entire contents of the book by heart. This was an incredible experience for him. Now, studying was much easier for him. The memorization of the book shows the effect of Edgar's abilities on his school life. This incident spread quickly through the village. Some thought it was a blessing from God, while others believed that Edgar was a strange child. As Edgar grew older, he realized that his talent was not limited to textbooks. In his dreams, he could see visions of the future and diagnose people's illnesses. However, this ability frightened him. He was raised in a religious family, and such psychic abilities conflicted with his beliefs. He was experiencing a great conflict within himself. In his youth, Edgar began to work as a photographer. This profession gave him the opportunity to communicate with people and to hide his talents. However, fate had drawn a different path for him. One day, he suddenly lost his voice. Doctors tried all kinds of treatments, but none of them worked. Edgar could not speak for months. In the grip of despair, he sought help from Al Lane, a hypnotist. Lane put Edgar in a trance and asked him about the cause of his illness and the treatment. While in a trance, Edgar diagnosed a problem with his vocal cords and told Lane how to solve it. Lane followed Edgar's instructions and the miracle happened. Edgar began to speak again. This event was a turning point in Edgar's life. He was now known as the Sleeping Oracle. People came to him from everywhere with all kinds of problems. Edgar would lie down on the bed, close his eyes, and go into a deep trance. His wife Gertrude would ask questions and take notes. His secretary, Gladys Davis, meticulously recorded and organized these readings. The readings were incredible. Edgar was able to tell people about their illnesses, which were unknown at the time. He proposed treatment methods: osteopathy, special diets, herbal remedies, massages. reading people's past lives, explaining their complex debts and mental development. He said that dreams were the messages of the subconscious, interpreting the symbols. He made prophecies about the future. 2 world wars, economic crises, natural disasters, and told Atlantis, the lost continent, advanced technology, spiritual wisdom. Atlantis is the origin of humanity and will be rediscovered in the future, he said. The scientific world approached Edgar Cayce's readings with suspicion. They accused him as a charlatan of fraud. However, Edgar's readings were healing to thousands of people, gave hope, guided. Patients recovered, desperate found hope. Those who were in search found their answers. Edgar Cayce died in 1945 when he was 67 years old. However, the legacy continues to live. His teachings, books, Association for Research and Enlightenment, ARE, and Edgar Cayce, who are still in the borders of the unknown, inspire those who seek internal healing, those who walk on the way to spiritual enlightenment. His story is not only the story of a sleeping oracle, but also a proof of the potential of humanity, the power of intuition, and the healing effect of love. This extraordinary life, which began on a modest farm of Kentucky, was a light spreading all over the world. And this light still continues to shine,